This is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Let's get ready to
Welcome to the Junkyard Pod. Today, I am continuing something a little different after recording a quick solo episode yesterday with my thoughts on the NBA draft. I thought maybe I'd turn the camera on once again and rant about the future of the Core-4 before free agency starts on Sunday and the floodgates officially open. So if these shorter solo videos interest you, please let me know in the comments. I think it's fun to just dump all of my Cavs thoughts somewhere in this rapid fire fashion rather than doing a full length podcast each time and without the grind of getting NBA highlights to make this a film breakdown. So again, let me know in the comments if you'd like more of this content, and if you do, hit subscribe, drop a like. You know the drill. It means a lot, and I really appreciate the support that everyone has shown on this channel over the last 2 years. It truly does mean a lot to me, so thank you for that. And now let's get this out of the way right at the start. There is a real chance that the Core-4 is as good as it ever gets for this era of Cleveland Cavalier basketball. Because as much as we can complain about the fit of Mobley, Allen, Garland, and Mitchell, the reality is shuffling the deck does not guarantee you're going to end up with a better hand. The Cavs might not have a true wing like other contenders, but other contenders don't have 2 Defensive Player of the Year candidates in their front court to make up for it. And while Garland and Mitchell are 2 undersized guards who haven't been able to get the job done up to this point, but the potential for them to blossom into an elite 1-2 punch on offense is still a developmental path that could potentially reap more rewards than trading Garland for scrap parts. And I think they showed some of this potential, especially in that first year, where both Garland and Mitchell arguably had the best season of their entire careers together. So ask yourself this: is sacrificing talent for a more traditional roster construction truly going to put the Cavaliers over the top? This is the golden question that the Cavs will be asking themselves all summer long, because unless a trade offer emerges that knocks them out of their socks, splitting up the Core-4 is just not as easy of a decision as online fans would like to think. There is a limit to how much the Cavs can do if they miss on a trade this summer. The second apron and potential incoming contract extensions for Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell are going to put a hard cap on the Cavaliers' options moving forward. The truth is, they might only have one chance to make a move before locking themselves into a core for the future, because after that, trying to tinker with the roster in any major way will only push them closer and closer to destruction. We need to ask ourselves, what is the move after the move? If you trade for Brandon Ingram, for example, and that doesn't push you over the top, well, now what do you do? Are you then going to trade Ingram? Is it time to trade Evan Mobley at that point? Is Mitchell gone? The point that I'm making is this: if the next big trade the Cavs make doesn't pan out, I think there's a realistic chance a total reset would soon follow. So you better be sure the guy you are selling the farm for is worth it. This would be the all-in move, and that's why the front office has been patient, because believe it or not, you don't have to accept a trade offer just because fans are frustrated with the team. You can wait it out until you get an offer that truly moves you, and that's what all the reports seem to suggest. The Cavs aren't interested in selling low on one of their star players, and I think it's easy to understand why. Whiffing on a trade of that magnitude and leaving yourself with no further options when you're a small market team trying to retain a superstar, that's a gamble. Stability matters in the NBA, and it's likely the primary reason that the Cavs front office has been so patient over the last season and a half, because extending Donovan Mitchell has been the top priority, and ensuring stability is the best way to do that. Imagine if the Cavs had listened to the hysteria and traded Jarrett Allen last summer. I mean, I saw proposals for Allen and Tim Hardaway Jr. gaining traction, and so I think we can all assume that the regular season becomes a total disaster when Garland and Mobley both go down in December. If Jarrett Allen isn't there to anchor the defense and deliver alongside Donovan Mitchell, if you removed Allen from that equation, with all of the injuries that occurred last season, the Cavs might have easily missed the playoffs. And if that happened, how confident are you that Mitchell is going to sign that extension? I think he is as good as gone this summer if the Cavs needlessly hindered themselves by trading Allen for pennies on the dollar last year. And so, of course, I'm proposing a bunch of hypotheticals. This is all hindsight being 2020, but it just goes to show how dangerous it can be to make rash decisions in the NBA when you have so much hanging in the balance. A year ago, Allen was clearly the odd man out, and now that title has been placed entirely on Darius Garland. How bad would it feel if Garland next season or in the future bolted back to being an all-star or even an all-NBA caliber player, while the Cavs tied themselves to a player who doesn't really move the needle? That's a risk to trading Garland, but there is a risk to keeping him as well. I would say the first step in deciding all of this is just locking down Mitchell to that extension. Get that out of the way and trust that you have a commitment for the foreseeable future. That way you can enter the summer with an open mind, listening to trade offers, but remaining patient. You will have the breathing room to wait for a trade that actually makes sense. Keep in mind, this is a squad that was on the verge of truly testing Boston in the playoffs. If the Core-4 had just been healthy, and if they run back that same core, the Cavs could easily finish as a top 3 team in the conference and make another deep playoff push. And of course, the correct trade could land them a wing that fills their biggest need and takes them all the way to the top. But there's no reason to lie to yourself and pretend that that trade is available this summer when it looks like it's really not. I am not super convinced Brandon Ingram is the type of player who pushes you into title contention. And the suggestion that I've seen of trading for Andrew Wiggins is just, come on, guys. What are we doing here? I know we all want to see instant results, but there's some things to consider here. First, the introduction of Kenny Atkinson could provide all of the offensive wrinkles and player development that the core has been missing. They haven't been losing because of their defense. It's their offensive production that they're missing. And now you can argue that firing JB and bringing in an offensive-oriented head coach is a move they should have made last summer, and I'd agree with you. But we are where we are. Giving the core a chance under new guidance isn't the worst idea in the world, and that brings me to my second point. If you secure a commitment from Donovan Mitchell this summer, which all signs point to that being true, then there is some breathing room for the front office to work with. Let's be honest, the trade market right now is hot garbage. There's not many guys out there who truly seem like they can make a difference, and who knows what could be available next summer or even at the trade deadline in the middle of the season. There's bound to be more names who are added to that list. And I'm sorry, this isn't meant as a diss to Brandon Ingram, but he just isn't the caliber of player that the Cavs must have at all costs. I truly think you can afford to sit this one out and wait for a different trade partner to emerge. And wherever you fall on this discussion, you have to acknowledge the risk of both decisions. Sticking to the Core-4 might leave them with a ceiling that they have no chance of reaching due to the ill-fitting dynamic of 2 bigs and 2 undersized guards. But on the other hand, swapping one of Allen or Garland could result in a worse roster with fewer options to improve as a consequence. All I know is I'm glad I'm not the one making these decisions. And once we get some clarity on who will be suiting up for the Cavs this summer, I'll be able to share more of my thoughts on the decision that was made. But for now, like I said at the top, if you enjoy my content, please consider dropping a like and hitting subscribe. Really looking forward to covering what the Cavs decide to do this summer, and your support is very much appreciated. And let me know in the comments where you stand on the future of the Core-4. Do you think the Cavs need to make a trade? Who would you want to trade for? And am I wrong? Are there names out there who you feel make a true difference for the Cavs this season? Let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. And with all that being said, go Cavs!